21 minutes ago 12:23 BT is planning to hand its UK frontline workers a £1,500 pay increase, although unions say they have rejected the proposal and are preparing a vote on strike action. The company said the flat rate pay rise is being given to 58,000 workers across BT Group, including engineers, contact centre staff and retail staff. BT said the increase is focused on the lowest paid workers and will work out as a roughly 8% increase for some members of staff, those on under £20,000 per year. For higher paid frontline workers, it would be a smaller rise. BT says the deal contrasts well with the average of 3% typically being awarded by UK employers. BT says it's making the biggest pay rise for frontline staff in over 20 years. Up to 8% for some workers and more than 3% for others. Talk of Tesco preparing to announce a rise. Given inflation at 30-year high, expect more such announcements. Graham Hiscott April 7, 2022 Philip Jansen, Chief Executive of BT, said the firm hopes lower-paid workers will benefit most and as soon as possible amid the rising cost of living crisis. BT Group has continued to support the country as it recovers from the pandemic, keeping families connected, helping businesses to grow in new, online markets, and supporting organizations to stay connected and adopt hybrid working. We took the decision not to use redundancy and the government's furlough scheme as a direct consequence of the pandemic, and thanks to the contribution of all 100,000 BT people, we've continued to improve customer ratings and invest in growing our full fiber and mobile networks. BT had been in lengthy discussions with unions, who had reportedly opposed a previous offer of £1,200. But with CPI inflation now 6.2%, the Communication Workers Union says it has rejected this latest pay offer, and will prepare for a vote on strike action. The CWU has rejected the pay offer from BT. We have no choice now but to immediately prepare for a statutory industrial action ballot. We will be sending further communications to members via email and social media later today. The CWU April 7, 2022. 1 hour ago 11:36 UK firms expect Ukraine war to hit sales. Nearly half of UK businesses expect Russia's invasion of Ukraine to hit their sales in the year ahead, according to a survey from the Bank of England. The BOE's latest poll of decision makers also found that uncertainty continued to rise, with anxiety over inflation also mounting. Nearly half of respondents expected the Russia-Ukraine war to negatively impact their year-ahead sales, with the average impact expected to be around -3%. Around 11% of firms said the conflict was their largest current source of uncertainty, and nearly half cited it as a top 3 threat. New data released by the Decision Maker Panel. #uncertainty #COVID #Ukraine #Russia #inflation #economy SQTXDEL8UB. Decision Maker Panel April 7, 2022. Around 49% of firms said the overall level of uncertainty facing their business was high or very high, highlighting the anxiety in boardrooms and management meetings. That's up from 47% a month ago. Uncertainty about future sales growth also increased modestly, and there was a sharper rise in uncertainty about future inflation. Firms are expecting to raise their prices over the next year. Expected year-ahead annual output price inflation also rose to 5% in the 3 months to March 2023, the BOE says. 1 hour ago 11:25 Co-op boss, price to rise amid supply shortages. The new boss of the co-op has warned that supply disruption continues to be a huge challenge amid shortages of broccoli, lettuce, and sunflower oil on the retailers' shelves. Interim Chief Executive Officer Shireen Kuihak, who will permanently replace Steve Morrells in the top job next month, told the PA news agency that price rises are a given as higher supply costs add to an array of inflationary pressures. Alan Layton, chairman of the group, added that inflation was currently in the ballpark of 4% to 5% as the retailer committed to pumping money into keeping key items affordable amid the cost of living crisis. The company said it had invested £18 million in price reductions over the past year and will hold the price of around 1,000 popular products. Bosses said the business also saw significant cost increases away from its retail business, with inflation in coffin materials affecting its funeral arm. Ms. Kuihak said the business has to be prepared for further volatility and be well positioned to react to further supply issues. She said, "These issues are not going to go away anytime and it is very multifaceted, so we need to work hard to protect our customers and suppliers." The supply side of things is still a huge challenge globally. For example, flooding in Spain has impacted green vegetables like broccoli and lettuce, so we have to switch those out in some products. Similarly, the situation in Ukraine has impacted sunflower oil and that is being replaced by rapeseed oil, so we recognize that things are still changing all the time. Sunflower shortage: why cooking oil has become so expensive. 1 hour ago 11:20 inflation in Ireland has soared to its highest level in over 20 years. Consumer prices in the Republic jumped by 6.7% in the year to March 2022, the highest annual inflation rate since November 2000. Prices jumped by 1.9% in March alone, the largest monthly increase since the monthly CPI series started in 1997. Over the last year, transport costs have jumped 18.7%, while soaring bills have pushed up the housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels costs by 17.4%. Alcoholic beverages and tobacco were 7% pricier. The Irish inflation rate was 6.7% in March, says the CSO, up from 5.6% in the previous month. This is the largest annual increase since November 2000. Prices rose by 1.9% in the month alone, the largest increase since CPI measurements began in 1997. Paul Colgan, April 7, 2022. The report also shows that diesel and petrol prices were both up over 30% in the year to February, even before energy prices jumped again last month. 2 hours ago 10:17 input price inflation and energy price rises top business worries. UK businesses are growing increasingly worried about rising energy and commodity prices. The latest analysis of the UK economy, from the Office for National Statistics, shows that rising input costs and soaring energy bills are the top two main concerns reported by businesses. The ONS says businesses in the food and accommodation sector are particularly anxious about the jump in energy prices. Among specific concerns reported for the next month, energy prices saw the largest percentage point increase between February and March 2022, increasing from 15% in late February 2022 to 20% in late March 2022. The accommodation and food service activities industry reported the largest proportion of businesses noting rising energy prices as their main concern, at 35%. Other main concerns reported by businesses were input price inflation at 23%, up from 21% in late February 2022. Supply chain disruption at 6%, unchanged from late February 2022. Taxation at 6%, up from 5% in late February 2022. The two main concerns reported by businesses over the next month continue to be small black square hash input price inflation, small black square hash energy prices. Energy prices experienced the largest movement reported, rising from 15% in late February 2022 to 20% in late March 2022. https://t/kfxgureq Office for National Statistics, April 7, 2022. 3 hours ago 9:25 Bellway, Countryside and Vistry have become the latest UK housing firms to the UK government's fire safety pledge in the wake of the Grenfell Tower tragedy. The trio are joining other house builders, including Barratt, Persimmon, Redrow, Taylor Wimpey and Crest Nicholson, who also pledged to fix safety problems at building between 11M and 18M high, built in the last 30 years. It follows government pressure on building firms to ensure that leaseholders didn't pick up the bill. Bellway predicted that works related to the pledge will cost it about £300 million, on top of £186.8 million set aside since 2017. Jason Honeyman, chief executive of Bellway, said, "The issue of life-critical fire safety defects in apartment schemes is a sector-wide challenge, and Bellway has engaged extensively and constructively with DLUHC over recent months, both directly and through the Home Builders Federation. We have always taken the issue of building safety very seriously and agree with the government's principle that residents should not have to fund life-critical fire safety remedial works. Our engagement to date and commitment to continue our responsible approach has resulted in Bellway today making a pledge